Okay, thank you for the delightful words of wisdom, Ma'am Alice Valencia. So let us proceed for the introduction of our first guest speaker. He is a known fashion designer and owner of Manila Boutique. He was a product of Jerai Orani and is now known to be a red carpet couture and celebrity go-to for everything luxurious and elegant. Our guest speaker is internationally known for his creations that have been worn by Hollywood celebrities such as Jessica Alba, Amy Rossum, Carrie Underwood, Fergie, and many more. America's Next Top Model also featured him when he created the USA versus UK walk-off runway collection for the Cycle 18 season opener and his dresses that were featured in the Pink's hot dog photo shoot for Cycle 17. His exceptional talent made him stand among the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's give a big hand for Mr. Neil Oliver Tolentino.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, grade 12 and grade 10. I'm Neil Oliver Tolentino. Everyone knew me there as Neil, but in my business world, they know me as Oliver Tolentino. I was a graduate batch 1988, section Diamond, and I'm so proud to be an alumni of JRI. So bago ang lahat, gusto ko sanang banggitin ang mga teachers during my time, my advisors. I would like to thank Miss Yumang, Miss Gigante, Miss Salonga, Miss Besid, Miss Anacleto, and Miss Liwanag. And also all my teachers that being there through thick and thin nung nasa GRI pa ako kasi there's so many teachers but I want to tell you their names because they're very important in my career. So I want to thank Miss De La Cruz, Mr. De Leon, Mr. Capili, Miss Roberto, Miss Cruz, Miss Barin, Miss Medina, Miss Fabian, Miss Juan, Miss Magat, Miss Manyalak, Alicia Punsalan, Miss De Los Santos, Miss Nico. And also I would like to thank Mrs. Roque and Mrs. Galicia. Mrs. Galicia is our principal that time, and she's really the one that pushed every student to follow their dreams. Do you all hear me, students? Naririnig niyo ba ako? Okay. So I'm batch 1988 in JRI. So I have a lot of fun memories in JRI. The most exciting for me in JRI is when we're doing the foundation day, where everyone will perform, and then the crowning of this JRI, and also Christmas party in Jose Institute is always fun because it's not only our classroom that celebrate the party, but everyone. And also the intrams. I'm sure enjoy ang mga student dyan pag intrams, right? Kasi medyo mahaba ang vacation natin, di ba? Tsaka wala tayo sa classroom dahil everyone is practicing and everyone is competing to each other. Masaya when I was there in JRI because, our batch are very close. Until now, yung batch 1988 are very intact. We almost have like meeting every week there to make sure that, our program, our goal to help other people is always there. So natutuwa ako sa batch namin dahil we're very intact. I hope kayong batch 2022 will be like our batch. Na even though you're not wala na kayo sa high school, you always like keep in touch to each other kasi that's very important. Hindi naman matatapos sa grade 12 ang high school. I hope that you will still keep in touch with all your classmates. So, as everyone knows, I'm a fashion designer. I took up fashion designing in Slim's Fashion School and Fashion Institute of the Philippines. But it doesn't end there because being a fashion designer, you have to also earn a degree in college. So I took up advertising in Marinol College. It was Marinol before, but now it's Miriam College. Uh, Entering college, I felt it so easy for me. You know why? Because Jose Rizal Institute prepared me very well when I entered college. I thought that I graduated high school in province. When I moved to the big city, Manila, it will be hard for me to to you know to mingle with people kasi alam mo naman tayo minsan meron rin tayo insecurity sa buhay natin na pag pumunta tayo sa mas malaking city, nakaka-intimidate. But it's not true. Jose Rizal Institute prepared us very well to become very independent and we can compete with other schools. So nung nasa Miriam ako, hindi ako nahirapan. Hindi ako nahirapan sa mga subjects, yung school ethics na natutunan ko sa JRI is always there, which means when you choose your path, your career, you have to be focused on it. So, nung nasa Miriam ako, I took up advertising because, why? Because I think it will help my business in fashion. Because I will be, promoting the products that I will be introducing to my client. And the reason why I got that college degree is because that's my promise to my mother. Because my mother told me na hindi po pwedeng uh, kumuha ka lang ng mga short courses. Iba pa rin yung pumunta ka sa college dahil at least may fallback ka. If it doesn't work, hindi nag-work ang pagiging fashion designer mo kasi fashion designing is not that easy. There's so many fashion designers around the world that it's so hard to penetrate the market. So sabi ng mother ko, you have to have a fallback. But I will let you choose the course that you want and you think that will fit on your chosen career. So I took up fashion designing after that. After high school kasi I took up fashion designing right away. So I took it for a year and then I entered college and then doon na nagsimula lahat. That's where it started. So fashion designer na ako when I was in college and first clientele. So nakakatuwa dahil na-practice ko time. So right now, I own two companies. One is Olyan Haute Couture Incorporation. That is the one in the Philippines. And then ang nandito naman sa America is the Oliver Couture LLC. So I have two companies that I'm running right now. I'm the creative director and the president of the company. So being the owner of the company, you have to work very hard and you have to set an example, a good example to your employees and to the people around you. That's very, very important. So, work ethics. Ngayong magka-college na kayo, kailangan pag-isipan nyo ngayon pa lang kung anong gusto nyong course. Kung gusto nyo maging business, kumuha ng business management or communication arts or whatever your heart desire. But you have to be the one to choose your college because I've seen a lot of students that dinidiktahan sila ng parents nila dahil iyon ang feeling nila na magiging maganda ang buhay nyo, pero alam mo nangyayari, people that I saw and encounter, pag pinilit ka at hindi mo talaga gusto, karamihan bumabaksak. Humahaba ang pagiging college student nyo, not like yun na talaga ang decide course na gusto nyong kuhanin. So, kailangan talagang pag-isipan nyo. It's not because that course is very popular, that's why you wanted to enter that course. Pero kung hindi naman nasa sa puso nyo yan, mahihirapan lang kayo. And also, kailangan nyo talagang isa puso ang course na gusto nyong kuhanin kasi yan ang magiging buhay nyo. You know, buhay nyo habang yan ang magpapaunlad sa buhay nyo. So hindi naman kailangan maging doktor, maging engineer, or maging mataas na course. Ang importante is maabilidad kayo. Kasi Filipinos, the reason why we excel abroad is because maabilidad tayo, may sarili tayong decisions sa buhay. That's why sila pag hinahire nila ang Filipino, because I think Filipinos are a pleaser, which means we're not only working kung ano yung binigay sa atin ng boss natin. Nilalagpasan pa natin yon kasi mapakitang gilas tayo Ang gusto ko lang ipaalam sa inyo mga student, huwag niyong gagawain yan kung nasa Pilipinas lang kayo. Usually kasi nangyayari kasi pag abroad masyado tayo nagbibigay pakitang gilas sa mga boss natin na foreigner, but also in the Philippines, that should be our ethics. Kasi dyan tayo nakilala the biggest I think the biggest contribution of the Philippines around the world is the manpower of the Filipinos. So, dapat lagi nating gawain yan. When we work very hard, we have to not only show it to a foreigner, for a foreigner boss, but also being there as a local labor. Okay? Kasi karamihan kasi ng Filipino ngayon abroad. So mga student, ang gusto ko i-advise sa inyo is when you pag natapos kayo ng college, if you can stay in the Philippines and help our country to become advanced or make our world, Philippines will be known around the world because matagumpay tayo being a country. Kung maaaring gawain muna natin sa Pilipinas yan, please do it. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, nawawalan tayo ng mga magagaling na doktor, magagaling na nurses, magagaling na engineer, magagaling na IT, because everyone wanted to work abroad. Right? I think for now, siguro i-practice muna ang napag-aralan nyo ng college diyan sa Pilipinas before you move to pag may papalit na sa inyo diyan, then that's the time that you can move abroad if you want to do that, like me. Kasi ako naman, sasabihin ko sa inyo student, hindi ako pumunta kagad sa America. I stayed there for 20 years, honing my talent, things that I've learned from the school, all the experience I encountered in my business before following my dream here in the States. Sasabihin ko sa inyo, bata pa lang ako, ang dream ko talaga maging fashion designer. My mom already knew that I will become a fashion designer one of these days because my siblings, my cousins, were all artists. You know, they all love to draw still life. They all love to draw houses, but I'm the only one drawing dresses. So my mom already knew that I will be a designer one of these days. And also, at a younger age, I already know how to sew, how to make clothes. So doon pa lang, nakita na ng mother ko or ng parents ko na iyan na magiging buhay ko paglaki ko. So, um, kahit na marami akong gustong gawain sa buhay, ang natutunan ko is pag ginusto mo ang isang bagay, mag-focus ka na lang doon. Hindi pa pwedeng maging fashion designer ka, gusto mo rin maging interior designer, gusto mo maging architect, magiging magulo ang buhay nyo. So, pag kayo kumuha kayo ng course at kinuha nyo is business management or hotel and restaurant management or kung anong gusto nyong course, just focus on one thing. Kasi hindi po pwede yung magulo ang pag-iisip natin kasi walang kakahidatnan ang buhay natin kasi ang dami natin gustong pasukin. So, I think, you know, when you already know the course or the life that you wanted to go to, pagbutihan nyo ng mabuti kasi hindi biro-biro ngayon. Pag pumasok ka ng college, the tuition fee is so high. And your parents are working very hard to give you a better education. So, kailangan talaga, student, na mag-aral kayong mabuti kasi iyan ang magiging foundation nyo when you go to, you find work. Titignan nila kung magaling kayo, maabilidad kayo, you know what you're doing. And also, mahirap yung papasukin mo yung isang business na hindi naman na yun ang pinag-aralan mo at hindi mo alam patakbuhin ito. So I hope that you student, your grade 12 right now, sana prepared na prepared kayo para to enter the college. Lahat ba kayo ready na mag-college? Are you ready to... Hindi pa? Bakit? Masarap ang buhay being a high school student? I know. Kasi alam mo, nung nasa college ako, I always looking forward to see my high school classmates. Kasi totoo yan. High school life is the best. College is more matured. More like yung talagang ibang klase ang pag-aaral sa college kasi ang dami mong ka-competition at saka hindi na yung pwede yung pupunta kayo ng plaza or magka-cutting classes or pupunta sa Jollibee. When you're in college, you have to focus on learning, getting experience, prepare yourself for a different. So, kailangan pagbutihan yung mabuti kasi napakaswerte yung mga alumni ng Jose Rizal Institute because our school are the best school that I might say because, you know, dahil talagang mahal na mahal ko ang Jose Rizal Institute because without them, I'm not gonna be who I am right now. Sa mga grade 10 naman na student, I hope that, you know, at your grade, pinag-iisipan nyo na kaagad kung ano yung gusto nyong kuhanin sa college kasi it will take time. Hindi naman yung ngayon sinabi mo na yun ang gagawin mo the next few years. So, grade 10, kailangan grade 12. Kausapin nyo mga grade 10. Tell them your experience at saka kung ano yung mga dapat nilang gawain at i-prepare nilang sarili nila para maging para sa college kasi you know, ganun yan eh. When I was in Jose Rizal, the higher batch sa amin, you know, they become our friends because they're sharing what they've learned during that time. Kaya napapadali ang you know, napapadali kami bilang sa susunod na stage ng high school. So I hope that you already know what you want to take in college para at least madalian kayong ma-achieve ang gusto niyo ma-achieve sa buhay niyo. So if you want to ask any question, I'm willing to answer your question kasi kailang gusto ko mabigyan kayo ng more information about having a business. So may mga question ba kayo, student?
Students, this is your chance. You may ask questions.
May gusto ba maging fashion designer dyan na student? Arvin?
Okay po. Sir Neil, mukhang wala pong nahihiya po sila magtanong. Can we just play questions po that we got from our students po?
Again?
Can we play questions na lang po? Meron po kasi mga naka-video po na questions, sir.
Oh, sige. Pwede mong itanong sa akin yung question and then I can answer.
Okay po. Thank you po, sir. Wait lang po. Pa-play lang po yung video.
May video na question. Okay.
Yes po, sir.
Hindi pa siya
When
nagpe-play.
you were studying, what
Opo,
was
sir.
the thing
Inaayos
that you
pa
did
lang.
to reach what you
Pasensya
are
na po sa
today?
Okay
paghihintay.
lang.
What is your advice for the aspiring businessman or woman who wants to have a successful business, especially
Arvin,
in the
wala
business
siyang
field?
sound.
Opo, sir. Working on it na po.
Sige.
Thank you po, sir, sa pasensya.
Hindi, okay lang. Sige. We still have time.
Okay po, before we proceed dahil medyo nagkakaroon po ng problema. Students, you can ask some questions. Okay. Sir Neil is willing to answer po. Anyone? Nahihiya po yata sila. If you are too shy, you can...
Huwag kayong mahiya. Alam mo, minsan lang ako mag-talk ng ganito. So ako naman, as your Uncle Oliver, I'm willing to answer kung saan ko kayo pwedeng tulungan. Kasi alam mo, magandang marinig ang mga advice ng mga older generation because you know we already have a lot of experience in life, in business. So mabibigyan namin kayo ng magandang advice. But we need some questions from you kasi hindi naman po pwedeng laging kami lang yung magbibigay sa inyo ng information kasi baka may information rin naman kami hindi alam para at least malaman namin kung ano yung yung gusto nyong i-take in, anong gusto nyong mangyari sa buhay niyo after college, or anong pinakamagandang advice para mag-succeed kayo sa path na pinili nyo. Lian.
Sir, I have a question lang po. Um, sa tingin niyo po kaya, what's like the first step or maybe even the main knowledge that we should have po like especially
To think about kung ano yung gift mo. Like if you are like, kailangan, kasi ikaw lang ang nakakaalam kung anong gusto mo sa buhay mo. Anong gift mo? Mahilig ka bang mag-drawing? Mahilig ka ba sa math? Or mahilig ka bang mag-entertain ng tao? So, it's up to you. Tanungin mo muna yung sarili mo, ano bang gusto
When you
kong
were studying, what was the thing
i-focus
that
ang
you did
sarili
to
ko.
reach
Like if
what you
you
are today?
really want more communication, maybe you can be in an advertising agency, or you can be in a hotel and restaurant business. Pag machika ka, ma-PR ka, I think that will be the best thing to do. And also, kailangan talaga mag-soul searching ka kasi, Lian, madaling magsabi gusto ko maging doktor or gusto ko maging engineer, but it's just a hearsay. So, ikaw ba, Lian, ano ba nakikita mong gusto mong i-take sa college? Meron ka na bang uh, napupusuan na course? Anong course ang gusto mo?
meron po. Since parang hindi po kasi ako masyadong enjoy kung nasa field po ako lagi. I think mas better po ako if lagi nasa office. So, I want to take po the accounting po, either in finance po or pwede rin po akong mag-forensic. Yun po yung pinagpipilian ko.
Oh, that will be good. Kasi right now, with what happened with the pandemic, a lot of people are working remote right now. And accounting is very, very good because also you can work at home. When you already have like people uh, na trusted ka na nila, what they will do is just like fix all the the receipt and everything, and they can give it to you. You can work at home. So maganda yan. Maganda rin yan. Tsaka, of course, pag nasa bahay ka, you can also take care of your family at the same time, and also you have your own time to spend your time with the family. Accounting is very in demand right now, and also you can work at the bank if you want to, or stock exchange. So there's so many things that you can do with that course. And if that's what you like, nako, galingan mo mabuti sa math, ha, kasi that's very, very important. And you have to really be patient because paperwork yan, Lian. So everything should be documented. So I think that will be a good course. I hope one of these days I can meet you and maybe you can do my accounting in the Philippines. Very good. Maganda yan. Yeah. That's really a very lucrative course. I will support you with that.
Thank you po.
Okay ba yung aking advice sa'yo? Follow it.
Yes po.
Sige,
Super po.
Lian. Lian, may classmate akong Pagyo. I'm sure uncle mo siguro yan.
Dad ko po.
Dad mo ba siya? Say hi to your dad. Nako, malalaman ng age. Say hi to him.
Sige po.
Sige. Sino pa? Sino pa may question? Kyla.
Hello
Kyla or
po.
Kim? Hi,
Kim po.
Kim.
Gusto ko lang po itanong if what is your advice po para sa mga aspiring businessman or woman who wants to have a successful business po?
You know, this is what I've learned. And also, I will tell you about my mistake. Pag gusto mong maging businessman, kailangan mag-work ka muna sa ibang company. Because what happened to me, I didn't work to anybody. Nag-business na ako kaagad. That's why ang tagal-tagal kong malaman kung ano talaga kung paano ko mapapaayos ang business ko. So in order for you to be a good businessman, mag-work ka muna sa isang company para mas matutunan mo kung ano yung pamamalakad nila, kung paano yung mag-run ng business. Pag-aralan mo yung tama at mali ng business through them. Kasi pag nagtatrabaho ka, wala kang puhunan. So kumbaga yung wala kumbaga yung marami kang matututunan sa kanila pero hindi ka malulugi because you don't know the the kumbaga marami kang matututunan sa kanila at hindi ka malulugi. What I mean is because pag ikaw nagtayo ka ng business, trial and error yan, Kim. So, syempre, hindi mo pa naman alam palakarin yung business mo. May time na malulugi ka, may time na mag-gain ka ng money. Hindi katulad nung nagtatrabaho ka, the company it's their own problem kung anong mangyari sa business nila. But when you're there, kailangan pag-aralan mong mabuti lahat how they run the business. And then after you know all the information, then put your own business. Don't go to the business to put up a business right away. That's not a good advice. When you buy a business book, that's the first thing that they will say. Work with other people first before you put your own business. So kung may business naman, Kim, yung family mo, and you can run the business your family, I will say better that way. Kasi para yung business ng family mo mag-prosper, kasi sino pang tutulong sa business ng family mo if uh, walang trusted na mag-handle. So, are your parents have a business that you want to continue or you want to put up your own business, Kim?
Meron po kaming business na resort po, private resort.
Oh, that will be good. So, pwede ka mag-hotel and restaurant management or pwede ka management. So, at saka syempre, the younger generation, iba yung gusto ngayon ng mga younger generation. And I think you can give, you know, a better a better knowledge to your parents one of these days kasi syempre hindi naman lagi makaluma ang gagawain nyo about your resort. So, I think that will be good. I think, you can work with your family and see already kung paano pinapalakad ng mom and your dad the business. I think that will be good. Hindi ka na mahihirapan. Oh my God, the other people are like starting from zero and your family is already there, so might as well run the business of your family because the only one that can run it well is also one of the family member. Kasi why, Kim? May pagmamahal ka dun sa business ng parents mo dahil this is hard earn money ng parents mo. So magwo-work kang mabuti kasi of course ayaw mo malugi ang business ng family mo. So I think that will be uh, a good way of helping your family. Any more questions?
Thank you po, Daan.
Thank you, Kim. Sino pa? John. Who's John and who's Mara? Mara, do you have a question? Huwag kang mahiya. Arvin, may mga question pa ba yung student?
Mukhang wala na po, sir. So,
Sige.
okay po.
You know, siguro one of these days, Arvin, pag hindi na masyadong mahirap umuwi ng Philippines, maybe I can give a better talk with all the students na I'll be there, see them in person so that I can have more better communication with them. Kasi alam ko nahihiya yung mga ibang student or na hindi pa nila alam kung ano yung mga question nila. But you know, if you need any question, Oliver will always be there to guide you. Student, mag-aral kayong mabuti ha. And i-prepare nyo yung sarili nyo because college will be different from high school. Hindi na pwedeng school bukol. Kailangan talaga. You have to work very hard and you know, it's gonna be a different environment, different classmates, different race. So I hope that you already found what you want in college. Mag-aral kayo mabuti because that will be the foundation of yours. And also, sasabihin ko sa inyo, iyan ang pamanang hindi pwedeng manakaw because it's in your mind and your heart. So walang makakakuha sa inyo yan because sabi nga ng parents ko, iyan lang ang mapapamana ko na nobody can get it from you. So, study very hard. Prove yourself to your parents kasi of course the parents are really like working so hard to have you a better life, better education, and pag naging successful kayo, ang masasabi ko sa inyo is always look back. Pag nakagraduate kayo, naging very successful kayo, make sure that you help your parents, you help your classmates who's not fulfill their dream. Kasi yan ang batch 1988 na ginagawa namin ngayon, yung mga classmate namin na hindi naging successful in life, we're helping them. I hope you will also continue that. And always mention Jose Rizal Institute with your classmates, your family, and tell them that you graduated from a beautiful school, Jose Rizal Institute. And thank you very much for all my teachers, Ma'am Alicia, Bennett, Arvin, salamat at you know, nag-meet tayo online and facilitating this talk. I hope one of these days I will meet all of you and I hope that you're gonna be successful on your chosen career and path. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Thank you po, sir. Looking forward din po sa na makikilala kayo in person.
Sige, pag nandiyan ako sa Philippines, I will communicate with Ma'am Alicia and Ma'am Bennett so that, you know, maybe we can do a live discussion like this. Thank you very much and happy graduation. I'm sure masayang-masaya. Sana matupad yung graduation nyo, nalalakad kayo sa stage at kukuhanin nyo ang fake diploma nyo, kunwari. At may picture kayo na nakatoga kayo. I hope that will happen. Okay, thank you very much and have a nice day. Salamat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Neil Oliver Tolentino, for enthusiastically reporting your wise and useful insights to our grade 10 and grade 12 students. We are certain that your advice will be influencing them in selecting a strand and career path that will help them forge a successful future. We are grateful to have you today, and GRI is very proud of you.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you po. Thank you. Thank you
Bye.
po.
Bye, Alicia. Ma'am
Thank you.
Alicia.
Thank you
Bye.
po. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So our second guest speaker is currently a revenue accounting manager at Proofpoint Incorporated, Sunvale, California. He was the valedictorian of GRI Batch 1981. He received his bachelor's degree in civil engineering at Mapua Institute of Technology and also studied Japanese language and culture from 1990 to 1995 at Ryukyu University in Okinawa, Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to introduce to you Engineer Arthur Bongco. Let's give him a round of applause.
Oh, I've been talking. I've been talking without my mic on. Anyway, oops, nawala naman ako. Oh my gosh, I'm having issues with my laptop. Anyway, can you hear me now?
Yes po, loud and clear, sir po.
Okay, Ma'am Alicia, good morning po. Good morning sa inyo, Sir Arvin, and to everybody who's in this meeting. I'm right here in California, and the weather here is kind of, a little bit chilly. Um, but I cannot complain. California is one of the best places here in the U.S. Out of the 50 states, we don't have snow in here, so that's one good thing because when it's so chilly, I just can't. I just couldn't really stand it. Anyways, so much about that. I graduated high school from J.R.I. Urani back in 1981. So, boy, do you have a calculator? It's been 41 years, 41 long years, and we're in section A. And our class advisor, if I could recall, is the former Miss Penny Makaspak. She's now Mrs. Ochabe. And, I miss my teachers and I really miss our high school days. There are lots of good memories. That if I share it, 45 minutes is not enough for us to talk about it. And actually, there's a lot of good memories. And our house used to be in the lot where the stage is right now, all the way across to the opposite near the Sampagitahan sa likod, doon ang bahay namin. So whenever I'm late for school, I just jump over the backboard. Especially when I'm late for Filipino class under Mr. Besid. Um, uh, he's really a good guy. We call him Sir Besid, and a very admirable, clever person. Well, all of my teachers are, but I love them all, and I don't recall having any favorite teacher at all because I highly look up to all of them. Our school principal back then was the late Mrs. Galicia. I'm not sure if you could, people would remember her, but she's one of the best principal as well during our time. And then speaking of memorable memories, as I've said, I got tons. And what I couldn't forget are, the physics lab experiments that we had in one of the corner rooms right there near the stage under Miss Bibiana Magpok. And of course, the fun times that I had with my classmates. And we're supposed to have our 40th anniversary in 2021, but then pandemic strike, and so everything was put on hold, and coronavirus managed through. We have to go back to the drawing table and see when or we'll be able to kind of have another reunion, probably in 2025, and probably I'll see you there. Anyway, there is truth to the song that high school days, or my high school days, were exciting kay saya, and it brings back so many good memories, especially when it comes to food. Like, is Ate Merly still there? Her store. Actually, I went when I went back home 3 years ago. I visited Ate Merly, and I I couldn't forget her banana queue. The colorful tinupak. I'm not sure if you have it right now, but those are some of the foods that I really remember. And up to this day, if I could have them right now, I would, because I really miss them so much. Anyway, um, and then when I went there 3 years ago, ang laki ng pagbabago ng nakita ko sa JRI. Not only, the physical aspect of it, seeing the stage, seeing the rooms, seeing how it is now, it brings back so many memories. And, pag kayo rin, once you step out of JRI and you go back to it, there will be so many memories that you'll be able to recall. Even getting into the gate, it will bring you memories are gonna flood. And that's what happened when I went there. And there's so many changes. And not only on the physical aspects na mayroong changes sa GRI, as you can see, the advancement also in learning, um, you know, everyone seems to adapt so well to the changes brought by the pandemic. And this, I can say that resilience are always innovating and bringing out the best in every student. So you're very blessed and lucky to graduate from JRI, Jose Rizal Institute. Yes, I'm a product of that, and I could swear that it has helped me out in my endeavor and in my success to where I am right now. And one more thing is that you are all blessed to have this kind of career exploration to kind of guide you to where you want to be and what you want to become in life for your career. Not sure if we had one back then, but if we did, I surely miss it, because I don't recall listening to professionals explaining what they do or how they get to where they are and what they're doing, so that it can help students like you decide which path to go as far as your career is concerned. And at one point, I wanted to be a teacher when I was in elementary, and for some reasons it faded away. And then when I was in high school, I thought I'd like to be a doctor, but the sight of blood and yung kalooban ng tao, it makes me puke. So no, I cannot be a doctor. So I stopped dreaming of becoming a doctor. Then I also would like to be an accountant, because I look up to my uncle, who is an accountant, and he worked for the Central Bank of the Philippines more than 20 years, and I really admire him. At that point, I wanted to be an accountant. However, you go to different schools. I went to UST, University of Santo Tomas, and I took the exam for accounting. And then I went to LaSalle to also take accounting. And my friend went to Mapua Institute of Technology to take the exam for electrical engineering, and I took the exam for civil engineering. After I got my scholarship, my state scholarship, the very first result that came in from all of those schools is Mapua. I never thought I could be an engineer. I never dreamed to be a civil engineer, because it is actually my father's dream, not my dream. But I went with it and go with it. So I graduated in 1986. And if you're looking into engineering courses, mechanical, civil, chemical, architecture, industrial engineering, Mapua is the place to go. I just didn't like the name change that they did right now. I think they call it now Himalayan University, based on the owners, from Himalayan insurance companies or whatever. But it doesn't sit well with most of the Mapuans. But the product of Mapuans are really great. I was when I took the board exam in 1986, I took the top 20 place. I was one of the top 20 placers, and fortunate enough. And then you know I worked for 5 years doing civil engineering. I was a assistant plant manager in Coca-Cola Bottlers Company in Santa Rosa, Laguna. That was the very first factory for Coca-Cola who produced the first 1 liter bottle of soda. So it was really hard, for 5 years that I've done civil engineering. There's a lot of challenges that I have to face. And then finally, I said to myself, this might not be the one for me. So I kept working and doing other stuff in order to kind of shape my path. And then so I went to Japan. I studied Japanese language, Japanese culture and Japanese language. And then when I came back here, when I went back here in the US back in 1995, my first job was actually Japanese translator at uh, San Francisco International Airport. And I did that stint for like only a couple of months. And then I did some odd jobs. And finally, this is the land of milk and honey. And uh, the US, what they say. But also, I believe in the Philippines, we should also be given a chance that even if you don't have a degree in something, you should be able to work and try new things for yourself and find if that is also something that you might love. And finally, I got my chance. I was able to work to get into a company wherein I worked with a finance group. And I started really small. I started in the shipping and receiving area. If you are familiar with that, all you do is like at Amazon, you box everything and then you ship it. You put it on you send it through FedEx, UPS. I started at the very bottom, and then I worked my way up the ladder, and I went to accounts payable. Accounts payable is where the company would buy stuff, and will do purchase requisitions and everything. And then the accounts payable is the one who pay the bills. So I am the one who's processing all the invoices coming from different vendors that we have for the company. And then after that, I moved to accounts receivable. Accounts receivable is the opposite of accounts payable. Accounts receivable is the one who invoice the customers. So I've been on both sides. And then luckily, one of the payroll person left the company, and I grabbed the opportunity to do payroll. And I've done payroll for the company for more than 6 years. And this is the same company we're talking about. It's at Proofpoint. So I've been with Proofpoint for like since 2005. So it's been 17 years now that I've been working at Proofpoint. And this is the steps that I've gone through to get to where I am right now. So you just need to be patient. You just need to grab the opportunities that you have once you get into a company. So I moved to payroll, and then something opens up for commission. Commission is something that, salespeople would book deals or would sell something for the company. and then in return they get a percentage of the sale. Like if they sold 1 million and if they get 10% commission, so they have $100,000 as their commission. So I've done that as well, and I am never afraid of jumping into something even though I don't know what it is. What my advice to each and every one of you is, never be afraid of the unknown. Never, stop to what you might become, what you might become, and never be afraid of the things that you haven't done yet, because life is a process. So you might not have done that before, but there's always that learning curve wherein you kind of find your way, you learn, you 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 get educated to what you are doing. So that is one good thing for me, that I was able to go up the ladder. And then after getting into the commissions, there was an opening for financial planning on the opposite side of the building, and the managers talked to me and asked me if I would like to be on their team. And of course, not being afraid, I said yes, and everybody agreed. My former boss said yes, okay, you can go and transfer. So in here, you can transfer from one department to another, even though your experience is not there yet. People, I wish that is also how it is in the Philippines, wherein people giving people chances, students, those without experience, and that really helped me a lot. The confidence that my bosses or my friends or my colleagues are giving me that chance to move up. And so I was able to do financial planning for a couple of years. And then after that, another opening came up for revenue accounting. And this is where I am at. So I've transferred back to revenue accounting since 2016, 4, 5, 6. So it's almost 6 years now. I'm back to revenue accounting. So I handle, revenue, contra revenue. So revenue is that what is coming in for the company. So if you sell something, there is revenue associated with it. If you book a deal for 1 year and it's for 12 million, the revenue is recognized in different ways. So for that, if you recognize it on the accrual basis, you recognize 1 million for the first month, the other million for the second month, and then the third million on the third month, until you recognize the full year of 12 million for 12 months. So that is where I am working right now. And there's also that what we call contra revenue. Contra revenue is something that you deduct from the revenue that you make, because those contra revenue are expensive. For example, like if $100,000 for your marketing, and you pay other companies to do it for you. If your revenue is 1 million and you're paying somebody to do the marketing and everything, so you deduct that from your revenue. Out of the 1 million, you are only left with 900,000. So it's not as complicated as you might think. Really, accounting is debit and credit, and that's all there is to it. Just don't be afraid of the things that you might not have known, but it will come to you. You get used to it, and then after the learning curves and everything, you'll be able to be your own person and do the things the way you want it. There is no rule. There's no rule on how you do stuff, but as long as you get the results that you want. And it's really giving people chances, or giving people, even though they don't have that educational background or educational diploma. I am a civil engineer, and I am not a graduate of accounting, but I'm just persistent to what I want, and then so I get to where I want now in accounting. And it might not be the same for each and every one of us, but what we need to keep in mind and focus on is that, learning is a process. We go to school, we go to college, we earn a degree, we learn inside the classrooms. But outside of the classroom, when you're out on the real world, it might not be the same thing as it is in the classroom. So you might find yourself thinking, what what is the importance of me going to school? What is the importance of me doing a 4-year college? And all of a sudden it's totally different when I'm working already. Bear this in mind that schooling is there to set the foundation and build up your skills, shape up your character, and prepare you for the real task ahead. Do not be afraid to take on something if you don't have that, if you haven't done it. There, as I've said, there will always be that learning curve, and eventually you learn the ropes and master the craft that you are trying to achieve. Life's lessons are really far more valuable than what we learn in the four corners of the classroom. So always have fun and enjoy the ride. So don't take things seriously. You might be when I was in college, being a state scholar, there was a pressure on me to keep my grades above 3. 1.5, it needs to be like 1.5 or something. And if you miss that mark, you won't be eligible to receive more scholarship funds from the government. So there is that pressure. But if I had known now what if I had known then what I know now, I would have enjoyed my life, because it, it's something that you cannot go back. You can study, you can learn, you can work hard for everything, but don't forget to have fun while you're doing it, because you cannot gain back the time that you had back then. The simple things that makes you happy back then, and now that you're working, and then you're always kind of wanted to look back. I just wish that I had more fun back then. And so just have fun and just do your best. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Don't put so much, there is also that pressure for me to kind of pass the board exam. And all of those things are pressures that are being brought upon us, as students trying to learn, trying to achieve, trying to be who we are, who we want to be in our future, and the career that we would like to make for ourselves. But at the end of the day, what matters is where you are, and if that makes you happy, what you're doing is really making you happy, because you cannot replace happiness on doing things that you love. So I hope this somehow helps everybody to kind of decide, or kind of have an idea on what I was doing, or as a financial analyst and doing revenue accounting. And I hope I've inspired everybody, somehow in my own little way. So thank you so much for inviting me. It is my pleasure, and it's really nice to be part of conversations like this, for your career and for your future. And so thank you, Sir Arvin, and thank you, Mom Alicia, for inviting me over. Do you have any questions?
Okay, students, it's your time.
Yep. Any question, guys? It's okay. Don't be shy.
Cyril, go ahead.
Sir, nag-e-enjoy po ba kayo sa trabaho, or minsan napapaisip po kayo na sana ito na lang po yung pinag-focusan ko kaysa po sa isang profession na kinuha ko?
there's a lot of times, yeah, sometimes you doubt yourself. Is this really the profession that I really wanted to be in? But at the end of the day, I feel fulfilled and happy to what I'm doing. Maligaya ako that this is where I am at. And, I've been with this company for 17 years. So I've known the little things here and there. You kind of, I was able to go to different departments. And right now I'm sticking to where I am at because I'm happy. I feel happy and I feel contented. I feel fulfilled. And so I think this is where I'm going to grow old. So yeah, when you find that spot wherein you're happy with your career, I think that's it for me. I found my happiness in my career right now. Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Thank you po.
You're welcome, Cyril.
Permission to speak po, sir. I
Oh
have
yeah.
question po.
Look, yes, look.
What strength and weaknesses can you share to us with your profession po?
Weaknesses in terms of what?
Sa mga pinagdaanan niyo po sa professions niyo po, weaknesses and strength po.
Okay. So the weaknesses, I would like to go back to my civil engineering days. It's very challenging. It's a 24-hour operation when we were doing the Coca-Cola bottlers plant in Santa Rosa, Laguna. And you have to report everything that is, if there's an accident, you have to report it right away. And there is this, it's like, uh, engineer, nahulog po si ganon sa kanal. So we need to bring her to the hospital. Engineer, nasagasaan po si ganon si ganito. Engineer, nabundol po ang water truck natin. So to me, there is that weakness in me to handle that kind of pressure. It's hard for me to kind of always have these issues coming up to me on a daily basis. And yun sa civil engineering yon. But in accounting, once you're done with what you're doing for the day, it's done. So you kind of move on. It's a visual cycle for accounting because you have to close the books for the month, you have to close the book for the quarter, you have to close the books for the whole year. But it's repetitive. Accounting is repetitive. You do it over and over and over again. And so it's not as stressful as you are in the field as a civil engineer. So did I answer your question, Luke?
Yes po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Luke, for that question. Actually, Oliver Tolentino, were you able to hear Oliver Tolentino? Okay, Oliver Tolentino is my friend, and the suit that I was wearing on the photo was made by him. He's a friend of mine, Oliver. and he is a designer, he's a couture designer for movie stars. He goes to Tony Awards, Oscars, Saga Awards, and everything, and Hollywood stars wear his clothes. I wish I'm one of them. That is also one of my dreams, but it will never happen in my lifetime, I guess.
Sir, I think
Yeah.
Lian is trying to raise a question, sir. Lian
Yes,
Kaila.
sure. Who, Kyla?
Yes, yes po. May question lang po ako.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As a revenue accounting manager po, what do you think is the greatest value that we should have within ourselves po as an aspiring accounting students po to become a successful accountant?
Yeah. Okay. So, good question, Kyla. Good question. All you have to think is not be pressured on being an accountant. That word sometimes is very the meaning in here. You are an accountant if you have, like, CPA degree. So you're a certified public accountant. to some companies, they do that. Like when you are in an audit firm like PwC, Waterhouse, when you're in the auditing field, they need you to be a certified public accountant. But to where I am now as a revenue accountant, we don't need that. You can perform your duties and responsibilities as long as you are aware of the rules on revenue. And it's very easy. You can have you can study on your own. What is revenue accounting? What is a P&L? What is a trial balance or something like that? Those are the things that you can study on your own. So those are just the difference here is certified public accountants are more on the auditing firms, and you can be an accountant even though you don't have a degree, as long as you know what goes into the work that you're doing and you're given a chance to do it, and you have to prove yourself that you can do it. That's it. Did I answer your question?
Yes po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. So we have 51 people here. I got 3 questions. 3 or 4? Yeah, I got 4 questions. Who wants to ask me more questions?
Students, anyone?
Just always have fun. Yeah. Bugay Alexandra? Hi.
Ano pong advice niyo sa mga estudyante po na nahihirapan pang pumili ng course nila? Doon po ba sila sa course na gusto po talaga nila, tsaka yung masaya po sila? Or yung course po na matcha-challenge sila na lumabas sa comfort zone nila?
Yeah, so that might be a personal question. Sa iba na talagang kung ano ang gusto nila, they should go to what they really want, right? So it depends on the person. Sometimes meron din tayong pressure na to go after yung mga profession na mataas ang sweldo, but we don't want. In the end, you have to ask yourself, will I be happy doing this rather than the one that I really want? So, ang tanong sa sagot ay nasa atin kung magiging maligaya ba ako if I go with the one that I want? Or magiging maligaya ba ako because I wanted to prove myself that I can do this and I can do that? So it depends on the answer to that question for ourselves. So for me, had I known this, kung meron lang kaming ganito na we have speakers speaking on their profession and everything, it would have helped me, because I never really imagined that I could be a civil engineer, but I went with it. But then finally I was able to recover and recoup myself, reestablish myself and become the accountant that I really wanted from before. So if you really want to be an accountant right now, go for it. Wag mo nang isipin yung kung ano man yung iisipin ng iba, because in the end, you'll be the one who's doing the work and you'll be the one suffering if you don't like what you are taking, right? Kung ano ang magiging kurso mo in the end. So it depends on your own happiness. Yeah. Any more questions?
Thank you po.
You're welcome, Alexandra.
Students?
Wag nang mahiya. This is really a good time for everyone to ask questions so that it will help you kind of choose the profession that you really wanted. People might be still in the dark on what they really want to go for. All I can say is that if you really like something, go for it. And then if for some reasons along the way you find it hard and difficult, or it's not something that you like, just kind of think about my experiences. You can go from here to here just not being afraid to accept responsibilities, or not being afraid of what you don't know. And because life is always, this is what I always say, tell my friends, it's a learning curve. You always have to learn things. It's not, sometimes yung mga napag-aralan natin sa classrooms, you'll never be able to kind of apply it literally to what you're doing right now. It's not like that. It's not like that every day you're solving math, every day you're doing sine, cosine, every day you're doing essays or everything. Those are just the things that you did with school to prepare you for the real world. The real world is totally different. I tell you, it's totally different. And once you're there, you learn step by step, and then you get better and get better and you master the skills. So don't be afraid of anything at all. Yeah.
There's someone who wants to ask questions, sir. I think it's Van. Joshua
Yeah,
Van.
Van?
Yes, po.
Van?
Sir,
Yes?
ask ko lang po, ano po yung mas magandang course para sa mahilig sa math? Accounting po o engineering?
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Mahirap yan. Sa lahat ng mahilig sa math, engineering is more challenging when it comes to math because it keeps changing. There is no one solution for one problem. It's always evolving. So for example, sa pagtatayo ng bahay, sa pagtatayo ng bridge, if you're building a bridge and it is far dun sa mountainside, you have to kind of calculate. It's not the same thing as when you're building that bridge in Metro Manila. So if you have that mathematical, your mathematical genius, I'll go for engineering. For accounting, you also have to have that analytical mind, and you always you also need to be really good in accounting. But as I've said, accounting is a vicious cycle, not really a vicious in its own words, but it keeps repeating itself, so you kind of know what to expect. Iyon at iyon ang gagawin mo on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis. So you already know what to expect. Does that make sense, Joshua? Okay.
Yes po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, good. Sino pa po? Ito lang pong buhok natin pandemic hair po to, hindi po talaga long hair. It's been 2 years. More than 2 years that I haven't cut my hair. So buti na lang walang nag-ask ng question. So,
John Lex is asking you, sir.
yes, sure.
Shaking hands po.
Sir,
John
ano
Lex,
po yung values niya na dinala niyo hanggang pagtanda niyo po nung nangangarap pa lang po kayo maging accountant?
Ang mga values na okay, na dinala ko. Integrity and pride of knowing that what you're doing is correct. So as an accountant, I produce so many reports that goes to the CEO, that goes to the CFO, that goes to the controller. CEO is the chief executive officer, the highest person on the company, and the CFO is the chief financial officer, and the controller is the one who manages everything on the operation side for the sales and orders and something like that. So ang na-carry ko is I always have to want that pride in the work that I do, that whenever it's presented to someone, even though they're not CEO, even just to my colleagues, I put pride on what I do, and I always make sure that what I'm doing is correct. So you have to have that, your work must have that integrity in order, because it's a reflection on you. What you do, what you present, the report that you do, the report that you share is a reflection of you. So does that answer your question, Jalex?
Yes po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Any more questions? It's been 48 minutes. Wow.
Anyone, students?
So if I may ask, so right now, out of the 51 people in here, who still have doubts on what to take, on what course you want to take in life, right? Or what path? Do you see yourself as an engineer? Do you see yourself as an accountant? Do you see yourself as a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, right? So if someone would want to share what they see themselves at years from now, I would like to hear some of your, you know, if you have any. Someone would like to share? I might give pointers on that one as well, you know. Because sometimes you have to picture yourself, right? You are here right now, and then you picture yourself, oh, what am I gonna be? So if I am a lawyer, I'll be like this, I'll be here, I'll be working in a firm, I'll be working, you know, with lawyers who are sharp, you know, who can talk straight for hours, who can deliver you know, in the courtroom, who can persuade people or something like that. You know, someone who sees themselves to where they want to be. I think it's a good thing to practice, or to kind of put yourself in that position we're in. Okay, can I put myself as a nurse? Can I put myself as a teacher? Can I put myself as this and that? So that might help you decide where you want to be as well. And, you know, as far as the surroundings are concerned, if you want to be a nurse, are you ready to be with patients who have different illnesses? Are you ready to kind of be compassionate? Because nursing is not just, you know, taking care of people. You have to be compassionate. So do you have the patience to deal with patients who are, you know, delirious, who are out of their mind or something like that? And, you know, those things, kind of ask yourself in that situation we're in, will you be happy there? You know, if you are sensitive to noise and you work in the hospital, it's always noisy in there, right? Doctor, I'm seeing doctor is like that, especially in the ER, emergency room. Will you be able to handle that? So kind of, you know, at the back of your mind, think also not only of the things that you will be happy at, things also of the think also of the things where you know, the surroundings where you are gonna be. Are you gonna be comfortable in that kind of environment for yourself, right? So in civil engineering, are you comfortable being in the field and having all these pimples? My face was covered with pimples everywhere when I was in the field because I was allergic to dust. So we drive, you know, you're in the field every day, managing 200 people. Will you be able to handle that kind of pressure? So will you be able to, I mean, you don't really have to look far beyond that, because as I've said, there's always that learning curve, right? But for a moment, just imagine yourself. Do you imagine yourself being in the field? Do you imagine yourself doing an operation to somebody else? Do you imagine yourself being in a noisy environment? Do you imagine yourself just, you know, relaxing and just kind of doing the math for your accounting, for your books, for your revenue, or something like that? So put your place in that environment as well. Not only, you know, just, okay, we study this, we study that, but make sure that you'll be comfortable where you will be working, right? So if you're a nurse, most likely you're gonna work in a hospital environment. So just think of that. It might help you decide where you want to be. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, everybody's shaking their head, so we're done.
Okay po.
And I wish when I go home, I'll be able to see all of you. Who knows, right? Yeah. And I hope you succeed in whatever profession that you choose. And I just hope and pray that, you'll be guided thoroughly to the profession that you choose. Yeah, that would be really good. And with the teachers that you have, with advancement in learning that we have in JRI, we always produce people who are really sharp, who are really, excelling on different levels of the fields in the real world. So JRI being an alumni is really a good foundation. Believe me, when you go to your college, all the things that you've learned here in high school, you'll be able to bring it there. And yeah, the foundation is going to be there. So it's not going to be hard in college. Yeah. Believe me. So thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it and everyone's questions. And I hope I made an impact on each and every one of you to choose the career that you really want. So thank you so much. Oh, Ma'am Alicia is raising her question. Her hands up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you po. Meron lang po akong isang question, sir, kasi itong mga batang ito masyadong mahihiyain.
Yeah.
Meron po sa kanilang parang ang feeling nila hindi sapat na dito sila mag-work sa Philippines, though maraming opportunities, kaya lang alam po nila ang buhay sa Pilipinas. So marami po dyan sa mga batang yan, sir, ang gustong magtrabaho abroad, kagaya ninyo. So ano po yung maibibigay ninyong advice sa kanila para po mag-gain nila yung ganong courage para harapin nila yung buhay nila abroad kung sakaling mag-a-abroad po sila?
Yan. Napakagandang question, Ma'am Alicia. Thank you for that question. Paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, never be afraid of anything that is not known to you. Always grab opportunities. The opportunities might not be in the Philippines. I know mahirap ang buhay sa Pilipinas, but if an opportunity comes, no matter what it is, just grab it. Because once you're inside, once you're in there, you put your feet in the door, you just climb your way up the ladder and you'll be able to succeed. And if your employer sees that, they might bring you here. They might bring you to different countries, their branches here in the US, in Korea. There's a lot in Korea right now through POEA. They're having this open, for everybody to work in Korea as long as you meet the requirements. So just don't be afraid of, exploring. At ang isa pa, I used to be so shy. Can you believe that? I was a very, very timid, shy person when I was in high school. I don't talk too much. I never, I never in a million years could imagine myself putting myself out there on TikTok. but just enjoy life. And yung sometimes being timid and shy, it might works to our disadvantage. Because say for example, if there's a couple of people who is wanting the same position and you're timid and shy and you're always like this, hiding in the corner, and the other guy is like, oh, go get her, go, I want to do it, let's do this. So who do you think is gonna get the job, right? Of course, the other guy who's willing to take the risk, who's more, not shy, not timid. At times we can be, kind of mellow down, be timid and shy on certain things. But when it comes to your career, you have to be a lion. You have to grab every opportunity that you might have, not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries. If you are given the chance to do it, just don't be afraid. That's all I can say. So thank you, Mom, for that question. I really appreciate that.
Thank you
I
po.
used to be a shy person. Remember that. Not anymore. Because I have to go and get what I want, right? So you need, I mean, dealing with different departments in my company, it's really tough because you have to talk to people. If you want this, you have to, you cannot be shy and, oh, I want to go to financial planning. No, you have to stand up, be firm, and think and act like you know what you're talking about, right? And you know, be firm, be and know what you want, and don't be shy at all. Don't be shy. Yeah. So so just be a go-getter. That's what will make you succeed in every, you know, endeavor that you might have, even in work, you know, personal lives, everything. It will help you. Yeah. So thank you so much for inviting me over, and I really appreciate it. It's nice seeing you, Mama Alicia.
Thank you, Sir Arthur.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Korea. I really want to go to Korea. The joke lang po.
Bakit? Bakit?
Just to meet my favorite K-pop group. Just kidding, sir.
Yeah. Who knows, right? There is hope. Habang buhay ang tao, there is hope. There is hope. You know, who would knew that I will be able to do what I really love, right? Because I you know, pinagbigyan ko ang father ko at the time to what he wanted, because he wanted to have the first civil engineer in the family, and so I went with it. So okay, go. But then finally, I found my way. You know, I was blessed to be able to work in a company wherein they give chances, and that chances doesn't come along easy. You have to grab it. Okay, so I leave you with that. Be strong. Don't be shy.
Okay po, thank you po, Sir Arthur, for the wonderful and powerful words of encouragement. I am
Thank
pretty
you.
sure that our students will be led by your words in terms of their decision making.
Thank
Round
you.
of
Thank
applause
you
for
so
our
much.
Sir Arthur.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you
Thank you
po.
po. Thank you.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you.
Thank you.